If there was to have been any kind of an addition, if you like, for Zerbi to have caught the eye of Daniel Levy in Tottenham, do you think he just failed it with that hot-headedness at the weekend that saw him and Stellini sent off?
I wouldn't say so. I think some people see that as passion, and they don't like their manager stood there making no emotion whatsoever on the technical area. That's the nature of him. You know that when you employ him. And Simon made a brilliant point. I think as a chairman, you want to know he's not that individual in the boardroom, or when you're talking to him, he's cold and calculated at that stage.
Yeah. Simon, they're sent off. But, I mean, are they really sent off? Because after that, what do we see? Zerbi takes a seat in the stand, doesn't leave the stadium. Sent off means you're banished, does it not? But not him. And then he's back down. For as was Stellini for a post-match interview.
Well, yeah, and more importantly, so was Marco Silva in his game. You know, Marco Silva's been banned from the stadium. Banned for 2 games. Yeah, he's up in the stadium watching the game. No doubt, I suspect, able to communicate if he so chooses with his dugout. And then he's doing a post-match interview. Now, I'm not suggesting that I want managers banned, but if you've made a decision to ban them, isn't it laughable that they should even be anywhere near they're either banned or they're not? I don't think, going to your original question, that managers having a very emotive outlook, as long as it's not destructive, is a problem for owners wanting to put them in their dugout. If that manager then, as Stuart alluded to, we were discussing in the break, then takes that sort of temperament into his managing up situation, that's where owners like Daniel Levy would go, well, I can't work with that fella. He won't look with that, I can't work with that fella because he delivers histrionics in the dugout. He'll look at him and say, well, if it's a week-on-week thing, then he's going to turn around and say the fella's got to control himself.
I mean, he's just had a fiery character in Conte. Does he need another one?
Well, they're at different stages in their career. I mean, Zerbi coming, if he were to, and I would hope to think that he would stay at Brighton and respect the loyalty of the opportunity that was given to him. He's done a good job, but he had a great platform to leap off as well, by the way. He didn't come into it. Very rarely do you get to go to a job where there ain't no too many problems. Your manager's just been pinched with a £20 million payout to Brighton, and everything was quite rosy in Brighton's garden. So he came in there, sophisticated. Yeah, he fell out with Trossard, and yes, he's made them better. But it's often easier to make something better. Like Trump's made hundreds of millions of quid, but his dad left him £500 million in the first place. Yeah. So we can all make lots of money when someone gives you a start, and we can all build football teams when you've got a head start. But the point for Zerbi is it would be a massive step up to Tottenham again. From Brighton to Tottenham in terms of size of clubs and scale of clubs. I know Paul Barber would be saying, hang on a second, I went the other way. I went from Tottenham to Brighton, and Brighton's a wonderful club. I'm not saying it's not. But I would like to think that Zerbi would be continuing to develop his opportunity at Brighton, and Tottenham is not one of the things he should be looking at.
I mean, sure, if we wanted to know more about the reason for the bust-up, Zerbi claims Stellini had disrespected him after quotes to an Italian newspaper from Stellini claiming that Potter had done much of the good work at Brighton, not Zerbi. And of course, that's sticking in the mind of one Roberto Zerbi when he takes his place in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and eyes up Stellini and says, aye.
I think it's a fair comment that Potter's certainly put some groundwork in, and he's carried on that good groundwork.
Should Zerbi have let it bother him?
I don't think so. It's just a fact and a statement of where Brighton are as a football club in general, I would say.
Oh, I don't know. Having a nibble every now and again is not a bad thing. I mean, you do show people that it's bothered you, but it is a bit of a source. Stellini shouldn't really be commenting on the job that someone's done somewhere else and comparing it to what Potter had given him. There's no need for it, is there? Stellini should be managing his group of players, that inherent bunch of, whatevers that have created a problem at Tottenham for the last couple of years. But I think that Zerbi shows a little bit of character by going, what? I'm a manager. You're a stand-in. Precisely who do you think you are? And by the way, look at the performance of Mike. I don't blame him, actually. I think he probably shows a little bit of a vulnerability and a fragility in his own positioning in the world, because if Stellini's irrelevant, isn't he? He's going to be gone in 5 minutes' time. So why bother about him? But Zerbi's character is, no, I'll take you on then.
Oh, he's bit, hasn't he? Yeah, he's bit. Something tells me that Zerbi's career is going to be one well worth watching. We're watching him at Brighton, Stuart, but that is far from the whole story, isn't it?
Well, you would think so. As I say, Simon's spot on here. He's been given a brilliant platform to start from. And at this moment in time, he's done an outstanding job. He still has the ability to fire Brighton into a European place. I expect them to do so. If he drops away from that in the last 6-8 games, I think there'll be a major disappointment at Brighton that he's actually done that. But I think they have the ability and the squad and everything to go with it to sustain what they've done.
It'll be interesting to see, Stuart, how they fare in the next window. Brighton, when no doubt others will come calling for Moises Caicedo, when no doubt those will be in the market for Alexis McAllister.
And that's been their strength, replacing previous to that, and whenever they've lost a player, the next one comes in and he's been seamless and he's had the opportunity and platform to play.
Yeah. As we said, big afternoon in the Championship. Dan Window, who joined us earlier, will be right across it, and you will not miss a thing. talkSPORT or talkSPORT 2 for that.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.